Hi everyone, my name is Emily and I'm a youth services librarian at the Rock Island Public Library, and today's Manga Monday title is Chainsaw Man. And maybe you guessed that from my costume, but I figured since the movie is coming out this Friday and we're very close to Halloween, thought I would wear my power costume and tell you a little bit, if you are not already familiar, with the series Chainsaw Man. So in this book, you meet a young man named Denji, and Denji has a hard time. At the start of this book, he's having a pretty rough life. It's just him and his little pet devil dog, Pochita. And the two of them will basically do anything to survive. And in Denji's world, the easiest way to make money pretty quickly, even though at the start of this book, he is in a debt trap. Basically, the Yakuza have forced him to work for them. And so he can make money, but he's still living in desperate poverty. But if you kill devils, well then, okay, you can make some real money real quick. Now, devils are these things in this world that get their power from human fear. So if humans are afraid of something, there's going to be a devil for it. Like eventually in this series, the gun devil is a really formidable adversary, both because of the fact that there's lots of guns in the world, but also because people are afraid of what the gun devil has done in the past and how it's killed people. So this only feeds devils. Fear of them just makes them stronger. So at the start of this book, in the very first chapter, this is not a spoiler, this is just a fact about this book, Denji dies. He is killed, and luckily for him, Pochita, his devil dog, says, well, hey, I always liked hearing about your dreams. I want you to make your dreams come true. So I'll be your heart from now on. So, I mean, Denji is really on his own from this point on, but he finds there's a little pull cord in his chest. And this looks like Pochita's tail. Pochita, as a devil, he has a little chainsaw coming out of his nose. And so Denji finds when he pulls this cord, he turns into the figure on the cover, turns into Chainsaw Man, and is able to kill the people who had previously killed him. And it's at this point he is discovered by this young person named Makima. Now, Makima is a young woman who Denji falls in love with basically immediately because he has never been treated with human kindness for pretty much all of his life. And Denji finds Makima is the first person to treat him like a person. So it really does come from this place of, oh, well, I'm not really sure how to deal with this, because suddenly he is offered a job and a place to live and good food to eat. And so his life goes from being pretty terrible to being pretty amazing overnight. But there's a few things that happen. He is paired with Aki, who's 3 years his senior, and then he gets a buddy who is Power. That's who I'm dressed as. Now, Aki is a pretty straight-laced public safety devil hunter. And devil hunters in this world, public safety, basically, they take over when freelance devil hunters like, oh, well, this is too dangerous. I'm not getting paid enough to do this. But if you work for public safety, you get paid pretty darn well. Now, there's a very good chance that you will die doing this job. But for Denji, this isn't really an issue exactly, because having Pochita as his heart means that, all right, he still appears to be human. He could still pass as a human, but he also has some characteristics of a devil. So if he is injured badly, like he could be hurt to the point of almost being dead, but if he drinks some blood, he'll get better. And Power is kind of the same. She is the blood fiend, which means she's not exactly a devil. Fiends are what happen when a devil takes over a dead human body. And so she's got power. I mean, that's kind of maybe where her name comes from, sure. But also, she has limitations. So, like, she could make these really cool weapons from blood, but she gets anemic if she uses too much of her blood. And Denji, too, like, he can't just go on and on forever as Chainsaw Man. Eventually, he will start to weaken. But he and Power, they become buddies. And we learn more about the characters as the series goes on. Like, Power, for example, she cares about her cat, Meowie. And other than that, I mean, she's not really interested in humans or having a job, but that's where she's at. She's kind of stuck in this situation. And meanwhile, Aki, he takes being a devil hunter very seriously, because we later find that his family was killed by the gun devil. So his whole motivation is, I want to get strong enough and get good enough to kill this thing, so it can't hurt other people. But as the series goes on, we learn that, well, devils and the world in which they're living. The human world, but also the world devils go to when they're not on Earth. It's more complicated than it seems at first glance. Like, okay, you can kill a devil, but that doesn't mean you've seen the last of it. So, if you like manga, this series is a lot of fun. I've read the first arc, which is the first 11 volumes, and I will say the movie is really interesting because it's what's called the Reze arc. And this is kind of like it stands by itself. Denji meets this young woman named Reze, and she seems to really like him for who he is. And suddenly he has a crush not just on Makima, but on Reze. And he's thinking, okay, well, what am I going to do about this? How will I sort of make this work? Because, I mean, Denji, he's a teenage boy, but he's also very powerful. And what he finds is, all right, he's trying to have relationships with people who don't always want to relate to him as a person. I mean, really, they relate to him as this powerful figure, and that doesn't always work out for him, is what I will say. If you are intrigued, just read the manga because it's really fantastic, and I've enjoyed it a lot. Like, this is the first time in a while. I started it this year and just kept on going because I had to find out what happens next. So, if you're interested, check this out. And thank you for watching. I will see you again soon.